The John Harbaugh era is filled with a lot of chaos, but it's controlled chaos. So let's talk about everything that has gone on in the last 24 hours because, my God, it's been unexpected and it's been a lot, starting with Kevin Abrams. So I don't know if you guys know about Kevin Abrams. Here's the deal. So he's been with the organization since 1999. He has made it through at least 4 different GMs and about 7 different coaches at this rate. His title is the senior director of football operations and strategy. And like I said, he's been with the organization for a very long time. He worked very closely with Dave Gettleman. He has a lot of experience working with the cap. If you watched the offseason Hard Knocks, you will see him there along with Tim McDonnell and Dennis Hickey and others. So the question that I always had surrounding Kevin Abrams was this, is if he is such a good capologist, then why did he allow Dave Gettleman to get us in the, in cap hell? Why did he allow him to get us in the cap hell that the Giants were in for quite a few years during the Dave Gettleman era and after the Dave Gettleman era? Like, if you're so good at your job, why are you allowing this to happen is what I don't understand. So I'm giving John Harbaugh a lot of credit. This is my opinion on this whole thing. I want to first say it is upsetting when people get fired, okay? No one likes to lose their job. The official wording from, the media was that the Giants and Kevin Abrams parted ways. Okay, fine. Maybe he got a severance package, whatever. It sucks when people lose their jobs, okay? No one wants to get fired. It's not great. And, it's unfortunate process, but it is part of the job. He has been with the Giants for 27 years. And I just think when you're an organization who obviously does not know what the hell you're doing because we have been in the depths of hell for a long time, you have to make changes. And I think good for John Harbaugh for getting everything in writing because no one else would have come in and done this. And I think that Harbaugh is really going to be able to make a difference with this Giants organization from the inside, literally all the way out. Like, this is what they needed. They needed someone who was going to come in here and be like, no, you guys are doing everything wrong. I don't care that this guy's been here for 27 years. He's going. He's not good at his job, and we are going to get someone who's smarter and better and more efficient and whatever. It's time for change. It's time to move on. And I understand that the Maras are loyal, and I think that that's great, but I think that loyalty has blinded the effectiveness of some of their employees. Maybe that's the best way to put it. And, time's up. It's over. It's time to move on. So I give John Harbaugh a lot of credit. I give John Mara a lot of credit because I know that this is not easy for him. And I know that this is why the negotiation process took so long. Everyone trying to blame Joe Schoen. It was not Joe Schoen. It was John Mara. John Mara has been the owner of this organization for a very long time. And we know that the Maras treat their employees like family, which is beautiful. Everyone wants to go into work every day and feel like they are secure and they are loved and there's a good work environment and there's security and things like that. That's great. Who doesn't want to work in that type of environment? However, you can't let that blind you. And I think that has been the downside to John Mara over the last decade or so, is that he's let that loyalty come first beyond anything else. And that's what you need, an outsider to step in and be like, look, I know that you love these people, but they are holding your organization back from winning. And if you want to get to winning, this is what you have to do. It's why John Mara, it took him till Saturday from Wednesday nights to Saturday for him to say to his brother, I'm ready to make the change. And I'm sure it was hard for him to wrap his head around. I give him a lot of credit as a Giants fan, as a diehard fan who's been suffering through this hell. I am grateful that he came to the realization that what has to be done needs to be done in order to win. And I'm really glad that they're moving forward with it. Next up is Ronnie Barnes. Ronnie Barnes has been with the organization since, I saw 2 different reports. One said 1976, one said 1980. Either way, he's been with the organization for 45 years. The man is 73. And I just have to say, why don't people retire? You are 73 years old. He's got a pension. Can't say that for every other organization. The Giants are a team that offers pensions. Ronnie Barnes probably has a damn good pension. Like, just call it a day. Why? Anyway, so the initial report was that he is not going to be covering or owning the medical staff like he has done for 45 years. And then there was a second report that was like, no, just kidding. We don't want it to look like we fired Ronnie Barnes. He's not gonna control the medical department, but like he's still gonna oversee it. He got demoted. And I understand the Giants want to go about things the right way. They don't want Ronnie Barnes to feel bad. The thing about Ronnie Barnes is he was at Wellington Mara's deathbed when Plaxico Burress shot himself. The first person that he called was Ronnie Barnes. This is a man who the Maras have also called their 12th son. He's very involved with the family. And look, again, I think it goes back to the Maras and how they want to treat everyone like family. And again, that's amazing and it's wonderful. But after 45 years, sometimes I think it's time to move on, especially in the last decade when you have been one of the most injured teams in the NFL. They have fired medical trainers. They have brought in different neurologists and different, athletic trainers and different, all types of medical people, and it hasn't fixed anything. So at some point you have to say, we've got to start from scratch. And that's where we're headed. I think it's great. I think it's nice that they're going to keep Ronnie Barnes still in the building. It sounds like he's getting a paycheck to just kind of hang out, which who wouldn't take that? I certainly would. Sign me up for that. But yeah, he's not going to be doing what he does. And again, John Harbaugh, keep it up, my guy. There are two people that I do not want you to fire. Number one is offensive line coach Carmen Brasillo, and number two is outside linebackers coach Charlie Bullen. Now, as of right now, it's looking like those guys are going to both stay on board. From what I understand, the Giants have given John Harbaugh absolutely glowing reviews on those two coaches. On top of that, John Harbaugh's dad, Jack, watched all of the Giants film and watched the entire offensive line film and said, you better keep that guy. He's damn good. He told Art Stapleton that he said that to his son. So I think that goes a long way with John. If you guys listen to the press conference, he said that his dad was the one who was like, are you insane to even consider anyone else other than the Giants? Like, they're iconic. His dad is very involved in his life, and it sounds like John takes his dad's advice very seriously. So with that being said, I think it's looking really good that Carmen Brasillo is going to be back at least for 2026. That is not being confirmed yet, but what has been confirmed is that basically every other assistant coach has been fired, which is crazy. They fired the special teams coordinator, Michael Gobriel, all of his assistants. They fired almost all of the defensive assistants and the coaches that I know of. I've heard linebacker, cornerback, defensive back, defensive line, probably wide receivers, quarterbacks, everything else. Like and if you go on the Giants website, there was one coach listed, John Harbaugh. That's it. One. They used to have every single person, everyone listed, not on there anymore. So hopefully we see Carmen Brasillo and Charlie Bullen back on there. Now, Charlie Bullen is not going to stay on as the defensive coordinator. If he comes back, they allow him to come back, he'll be the outside linebackers coach, which I think is good. Abdul Carter raved about that man, and Brian Burns loves him. He is well loved and respected by the defense, and he did an excellent job with Abdul Carter that I think it's only in everyone's benefit to bring him back. So I think that's a no-brainer to me. Bring him back. He obviously did a great job and is capable of being a good linebackers coach. So I think we're safe there, but I'll keep you posted when I hear anything else. Lastly, this is what we know so far, is that the Giants have requested someone for offensive coordinator and I believe for defensive coordinator. So let's start with this. Is they requested to interview the Ravens assistant head coach / running back coach, Willie Taggart, for the offensive coordinator position. He has been a member of John Harbaugh's staff in Baltimore for the last 3 years. He was a head coach in college for, I think it was 6 or 7 different teams. And then he's been with the Ravens since 2023, and he's been the running backs coach. And then in 2025, he was promoted to assistant head coach. So he has been very involved with the Ravens, very much involved with John Harbaugh. Something else that has been reported is that the Giants have requested to interview around 24 Ravens staffers. Now, the Ravens just hired Jesse Minter. So I don't know if Jesse Minter is going to come in here and be like, absolutely not. He's obviously going to take his time to go through the staff and decide what he wants to do. He's got to hire coordinators too. But I don't know if that's going to make any difference, but that group, the 24 people, included coaching staff, personnel department, training and video staff, and I believe analytics. So absolutely a big group of people. They are trying to bring in whoever they can from the Ravens. I know that it's also been talked about that they want to bring in some other some of the players from Baltimore who are going to spread John Harbaugh's message and kind of be like the leaders of, the John Harbaugh regime entering into New York and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of things to watch when it comes to that. Also, the Giants did request to interview the Ravens special teams coordinator, Chris Horton, and the Ravens blocked it. Now, the Giants aren't the only team the Ravens blocked that from. They also blocked it for other teams, so it wasn't only that. Someone else to keep your name out for, or ears out for, is former Fordham and Wake Forest coach Dave Clawson. Could have a role on John Harbaugh's staff with the Giants, perhaps in a senior offensive assistant role. Now, this is from Art Stapleton, and Art is usually pretty accurate. He gets like the extra stuff from the people in the building. He's well liked by a lot of people there, so those are definitely going to be some of the names to watch. And then so it's looking like they're still trying to get Todd Monken. Todd Monken is interviewing for the Browns job. I believe he had a second interview there. And now that Jesse Minter backed out of the Browns, so did Mike McDaniel. I think they got some slim pickings over there. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Browns. Todd Monken might say, like, I don't care. So screw the Browns. I don't want to go there either. I just wanted to take the head coach interviews. Who knows? So looks like Todd Monken, according to Connor Hughes, the Giants are confident things will work out with Todd Monken as their offensive coordinator, but they still have to go through the process. They still have to go through the Rooney Rule, which means that they have to interview 2 external candidates who are minorities. Mike Kafka does not count. Also, Anthony Weaver is a big-time name for the Giants for defensive coordinator, so stay tuned for that too. And Zach Orr, who was the Ravens defensive coordinator. He's not my personal favorite. Jim Leonard is my number one. I'm dying for them to interview Jim Leonard, but Jim Leonard is the assistant. He's an assistant defensive coach for the Broncos. Obviously, they're on their way to the AFC Championship, so they are a little busy. So I do not believe that. I don't think he's going to be doing any interviews until after that. If they win, like I don't know if he's going to be doing them before the Super Bowl because they get a week in between. Or, you have to, right? You can't wait until after the Super Bowl. So it's going to be very interesting. But that's where we're at with all of the coaching updates right now. And as always, make sure you follow along because there will be more to come next week.